So the first thing I should say is I am very influenced by certain traditions that advocate this curious balance of first ontological agnosticism with an empirical pragmatism.
Ontological.
Agnosticism with an empirical pragmatism. So that means breaking it down. Ontology is a statement of what is true, and often about the underlying nature of reality. Two, agnosticism, meaning I don't know which of these statements is necessarily true, and I don't actually know how to prove or definitively that any of them are true. Three, empirical in the sense of in my own experience, and empirical in the sense of scientific replication. I can pragmatically show in my own experience through replication that certain maps and models in certain situations seem to be useful or not useful. Right. And so I have this a pretty high degree of comfort, putting on and taking off models like one would clothing, like one puts on a bathing suit and then one puts on a tuxedo, and those have very different sort of effects and modes. And yet, it's not like once you've put on a tuxedo, you can't take it off, or a bathing suit. It's the same kind of thing, right? And so in that same kind of way, that I like to put on and take off maps and models. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, when adopting a model, there's something way more fun about really kind of being able to believe it, as long as you don't get stuck in it. So that's the other interesting thing. Once you put on a model, even if you're holding this general thing, I could put on this piece of clothing or this piece of clothing, once you put it on, to kind of be what that is. So if you've put on the bathing suit and you go swimming, or you've put on the tuxedo and you go to the thing, or whatever, and to kind of really be able to be that and embody it is something of an interesting skill, while holding this sense that maybe none of the models are true, but only maybe some are useful. But when in the model, to then go, wow, that allows you to derive, I think, more richness and kind of utility and benefit from the model you've put on. So that's the first kind of meta thing I wanted to do about this. Right. So before I go talking about any models, just recognize that's the underlying kind of platform I'm coming from of my relationship to maps and models.